Yo's me, your boy, Shonen Boy, here today. I'm here today to talk about the latest episode of One Piece, episode 1132. Let's get straight into this. If you have not watched the latest episode of One Piece, go and watch it and come back to this review, because I will be getting into spoilers. Okay, let's get straight into this in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So, Jinny has been kidnapped by a celestial dragon, and has been taken to Marijois, and has been made into a slave. Okay, so yeah. Kuma hears about this, and he can't do anything. He can't do anything about it. He can't go and save her or anything like that. The Revolutionary Army is not powerful enough to stand up to the world government and the Celestial Dragons. They're just not at that, part yet. They're not at that, power level yet. So, yeah. So, they're only taking on, small missions, trying to liberate different kingdoms, from, being oppressed and everything like that. And we see, that at the start of the episode, where we see, Kuma goes to a, kingdom in the South Blue. I think it's the South Blue, correct me if I'm wrong. But, he goes to a, kingdom, and, he helps, them with their revolution and everything like that. And when he is trying to, liberate them and, attacking the soldiers and everything like that, he is only thinking about, Jinny. He's only thinking about her, and he's diving into his work, and he is becoming a bit of like a soulless, walking machine, kind of like what he, becomes later on. And he, he's becoming, his emotions, he's becoming more angry and everything like that, with what's happened in his life and everything like that. And he's diving into his work and putting all of his, energy into his work, doing this, revolution, army, stuff. And he's, fighting all these soldiers and fighting these wars and everything like that. And, and that would, psychologically affect your emotions and you as a person. So, yeah. So, Kuma, he's trying his best to keep it all together, and, yeah. And then, 2 years go by. So I almost said 2 days. 2 years go by, and they get a call from Jinny. Jinny gives them a call. She gets in contact with the Revolutionary Army, and she's sailing to the Sorbet Kingdom, where Kuma comes from. And she's sailing there with a baby. And the Celestial Dragons got rid of her because she, became ill. She got sick. The reason why she became sick is because she was experimented on by the Celestial Dragons by, I'm assuming it was, Saturn. Saturn was the one who experimented on Jinny and gave her the sapphire scales. I don't know why he did this. He was, but she was experimented on, and she got the sapphire scales from, from Saturn, and she is dying from that disease. So, yeah. So, they sent her away from Marijois, and they sent her down to the lower realm where, the humans live and everything like that. And she got on a ship, and now she's sailing to the Sorbet Kingdom where Kuma is from. And she has a baby, which is Bonnie. And Bonnie, she had that baby when she was in Marijois. It was a baby of, she probably was married or something like that, or had, in a relationship with a celestial dragon, and then they had a baby. So yeah, that happened. And yeah, so she got in contact with Kuma and the Revolutionary Army, and she basically sang her goodbyes to to Kuma, to Eva, and also Dragon and the Revolutionary Army. And she is we can see all the sapphire scales all over her and everything like that. And she's, saying her goodbyes and everything like that. And Kuma, wants to know where she is, and he wants to save her and everything like that. And he hasn't seen her for 2 years, and he wants to know where she is and where she's been. He knows where she's been for the 2 years, but he wants to know where she is so Kuma can go to her and just to see her. And so yeah. And and also Jenny doesn't really want Kuma to see her in this state, and Kuma, figures out, he's like, oh, I know the place, I know where she is, and Jenny is, saying her goodbyes, and she says to Kuma when she's about to, end her call, I will always love you. And it's a very, sad and touching, moment here where we see Jenny is dying, and Kuma's like crying, and he wants to know what's going on with Jenny, and what's going why is she, and how did she get sick, what happened to her and everything like that, and where she is. And it's really a heart-wrenching sort of like scene here, and it's just like, ooh, like I feel really bad for Kuma. His life is just pain and suffering, and I feel bad for him, and and then we see him, he runs to where, he uses his devil fruit to, go to where Jenny is, and he, gets to, the church, and he, barges the door open, and he sees Jenny, on the ground, basically, dead, and, she's, got all the sapphire scales all over her, and Kuma's just crying, and everything like that, and he's seeing all the, all of the emotions, and all the and in seeing all the time he spent with Jenny and everything like that, and it just kind of like breaks him at this point. He's just sobbing, he's just crying. He picks up Jenny in his arms, and he's just like crying his eyes out, and he sees a baby on the ground right beside her, and Kuma sees Bonnie for the first time, and Bonnie's like crying and everything like that because she's a baby, and it's just like Kuma says, I will raise this child for you, Jenny. And this part, I honestly almost cried. Like, I almost cried, honestly, at this part. Like, I was so, like, I almost had a tear in my eye, and I was just like, this is so sad, and this is so, like, heart, wrenching and everything like that, and I'm just like, bro, like, I felt so bad for Kuma. But yeah. And then we see, Kuma, sort of like taking care of, Bonnie. He's taking care of her, feeding her a bottle, and, Bonnie's like crawling towards Kuma. Kuma like picks her up and holds her in the air, and it's just like so cute and so wholesome. I love this moment where like Kuma is like holding up Bonnie in the in his arms, and it's just like, aw, like it's so cute. So yeah. And then we go through the years of like them growing up together. We see them playing we see them playing together. We see the townsfolk, with Bonnie. We see, them, Bonnie fell over and Kuma's trying to help her up. We see, Bonnie is on his like shoulder, and like it's really sweet, and like them having a picnic, them laughing at something, and we see Bonnie like growing up, with Kuma and everything like that, and it's so, sweet and wholesome, and I really like this, bundle of joy that has come into Kuma's life after the pain and suffering and everything that's happened to Kuma. Bonnie has come into his life, and she's just a bundle of joy that has like, it's really, really sweet, and so yeah. And we see, them, Kuma has to go off to do with his revolutionary business, and then he has to leave Bonnie with the townsfolk, and, them sleeping together. She's in like a cage because Kuma's so big and so bulky that he might, crush Bonnie if he like rolls over, so she has to be in a cage. So, yeah, And we just see their life together, and it's so sweet and so wholesome. And I really love this, this whole, part of the episode where we see, Bonnie and Kuma, growing up together. It's so sweet. So yeah. And then we get to the part of the episode where we see that Bonnie has the sapphire scales like her mother. It passed down to Bonnie, and they had to board up the church because sunlight and also moonlight, affects Bonnie with the sapphire scales, and it's a disease that will encroach on the person that has it, and it's uncurable, and a bunch of doctors come and see Bonnie trying to figure out what this thing is and how to cure it, and they also talk about white lead disease, the disease that Law had, and they're grateful that it's not that disease because we know what that disease is all about with Law's backstory, and then we see he had to quit the Revolutionary Army to take care of Bonnie with this disease, and so we go by, and Bonnie is now 5 years of age, and she becomes a little bit of a rascal, like a rascally child. Like she's a bit of a troublemaker, and she bullies these kids that call her a vampire and everything like that. And Bonnie kicks them out of the church and everything like that, and says, "I'll beat it," and yeah. And Kuma says, "Oh, Bonnie, don't go outside. Don't go out into the sunlight. It will be, it's very bad for you. You'll get affected with your, sapphire scales." And, and Bonnie says, "Oh, those mean kids, they were calling my, stones ugly and everything like that, on my face ugly, and, calling me a vampire and making fun of me." So, yeah. So, that's what happened. And then, Kuma says, "Oh, those stones aren't ugly. Those are jewels. They look very pretty on you." And she's like, "Aw." So yeah, it's really cute. Kuma and Bonnie's relationship, I really like it. And then we get towards the the end of the episode where Kuma shows Bonnie the Nika dance, and Kuma asks Bonnie, where does she want to go? Where does she want to go when she grows up? And she says, "Oh, I want to go to Sky Island. I want to see, Fishman Island." And it's very, it's good that she has like dreams and like aspirations and everything like that, and she wants to go on adventures with her dad and everything like that. It's very sweet. And then we see the doctor comes to Kuma, and the doctor knows what this disease is, and it's the sapphire disease that Jenny has, and he knows, but there's no known cure for it, and she won't live until her 10th birthday. So she has like a time, she's like a ticking time bomb. She could she is going to die, and she won't get to her 10th birthday, which is really sad. And when Kuma hears this, he's just like, "Why does this have to happen to me? Why does this have to happen to Bonnie? Like, this is cruel," and everything like that. And Bonnie overhears this, and she thinks that when she hits 10 years old, she'll be cured of this disease and she'll be able to go outside. And Kuma doesn't want to tell her the truth, so Kuma says, "Oh yeah, when you're 10 years old, you'll be cured of this disease, and you can go on adventures. We'll go on adventures. We'll go to Sky Island, and we'll go to Fishman Island, like you said." And she's very happy about that. She's like, "Yay!" So yeah. And at the very end of the episode, we see the town is burning, and the king has come back, and he's setting torch to the town, and all the townsfolk come to where Kuma is, the elderly people, and they say, "Kuma, help us, please! The king has come back, and he's torching the whole entire kingdom," and that's where the episode ends. So yeah. But this episode was really good. I really enjoyed it. I would give it a good solid 9 out of 10. I really loved this episode. I loved seeing Bonnie and Kuma's relationship and them growing up together, and seeing Bonnie grow up and develop from a child to 5 years old. Was it 5 years old or 10 years old? Yeah, 5 years old. Yeah, and she growing up with Kuma, and it was really sad when when we see Jenny dying from the sapphire scales, and Kuma going to her and and sort of holding her in his arms and crying and everything like that. That part almost broke me, and it's just this is so sad. And this episode had a lot of emotions, and some were sad and some were happy, and it's just this episode was great. I give it a good solid 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this episode. But anyways, this is your boy Shonen Boys signing out. Like, comment, and subscribe. What did you think about this episode? Put your thoughts down below, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Have an awesome day.